Fallout New Vegas is a post-apocalyptic action RPG, meaning you have the freedom to go anywhere and do anything, while making your character as good or bad in certain skills as you want. With this freedom, you can complete the game in multiple different ways, and today I'll be asking the question, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Jerry? Who's Jerry? He's Jerry, lovable goofball from my digital media class with an eccentric personality. I'll be playing as a melee build, guns are prohibited, sneak is a no-go as Jerry is a loud and proud kind of guy. And as you can see on screen, I'm a skeleton. Jerry loves skeletons. A couple of days ago I was shot in the head by Benny and a couple of great cons outside the town of Good Springs. The local doctor brought me back to life and must be some sort of necromancer, given my bony exterior. I set my character stats and am thrown into the wasteland. Ready to bring terror to the Mojave, I start by beating up Victor, the friendly robot that dug me out of the grave. And I pay him back by giving him a beatdown. The Tin Man stands no chance because I drank milk this morning, giving me the strength I need to be victorious. I loot the neighboring houses of all I consider to be useful, and I am satisfied with my findings. I head over to the saloon where I meet Trudy, getting threatened by Joe Cobb, a member of the Powder Gangers. The Powder Gangers are a band of escaped convicts that hold up in a nearby prison. He then insults me, sentencing him and his gang to death. So I go up to Ringo to help defend the town against the gang. I rally Sonny and get dynamite from Easy Pete. The fight is so easy. They send like 5 guys grouped together, so with the explosives I'm given, I throw copious amounts of dynamite at their feet, ending the fight in seconds. When I was looting, the corpse of Victor comes back from the grave for a friendly chat. As I go to investigate, the robot slides across the ground and is dragged to hell. I have no idea why this happened. All I know is that this town is cursed, and my theory that this town is cursed is confirmed when Malcolm Holmes approaches me. I deal with him appropriately, and for the second time, Victor resurrects himself, and I put him back in his grave. Done with Good Springs, I head over to the prison and finish off the rest of the Powder Gangers. I make my way to Prim. Once there, I meet a member of the NCR, the New California Republic, one of the big players in the Mojave. I'm not siding with them this playthrough, so I slaughter a couple of them for fun. I meet with the townsfolk and decide to help them out. I'm really doing this to gain access to the casino, because gambling is fun. To help them, I go into the hotel that's run by convicts. They are no match for my grenade launcher. It's here that I decide that I can only use launchers inside buildings. I rescue the town's deputy and he tells me to assign Prim a new sheriff. I know who I want to become sheriff, so we'll come back. I discover the Mojave outpost and move on to Nipton. It's here that we meet the real Chads of New Vegas, Kaiser's Legion. These stripped-down merciless band of purifiers are equipped with machetes, spears, and hunting rifles. On paper, they shouldn't stand a chance against the NCR, yet they just burned down a town in their own territory. But don't take my word for it. Here's the man himself, Jerry.
People ask me all the time why I hate the NCR. I just hate California. California and taxes. I'd rather be a slave to the Legion than a slave to taxes. The world ended already, but I still have to pay taxes? Suddenly being crucified doesn't sound half bad. Plus, the NCR doesn't pass the drip check. Legion, though, they got boys in skirts. And don't get me started on the lack of Riz. NCR has 0 Riz. The Legion, on the other hand, Riz full. And they're goated with the sauce. The NCR, they rely on rifles rather than their own fists, which, if you ask me, is pretty cringe. Also, they got no drip, no Riz, no sauce, L taxes, and don't get me started on their president. What good is a president anyway if a president doesn't have a head? Anyway, away, true to Kaiser.
The end game of New Vegas is the second battle of Hoover Dam between the NCR and Legion, and I'm joining the Legion, because fighting these guys is a nightmare. Anyway, I head over to Searchlight Airport for a mod, but I couldn't make it work, so instead I went to Novak and met with Boone. He wants me to find the person who sold his wife to the Legion and bring them in front of the dinosaurs so he can kill them. We'll get back to that. For now, I go to the Repcon Facility to deal with ghouls, and I meet a cult of ghouls who want to escape Earth and live the rest of their lives peacefully in space. But I'm not a live and let live type of guy. I start hacking away at their flesh with my new chainsaw knife, and I blast the leader with a grenade launcher. I return to Novak and have Manny follow me to the front of the dinosaur statue to have Boone take his head off. Manny was entirely innocent. I tell Boone it was a prank and he overreacts and tries to kill me. It's honestly very embarrassing for him. I returned to Prim to make Prim Slim, a robot cowboy, the sheriff, after which I was jumped by a handful of people who I swiftly dispatched one by one, until the leader ran in a futile attempt to save herself. But this is on PC, and I have a sprint mod. Speaking of mods, I got the one I mentioned earlier working, and it required me to loot around. On my travels, I found a 9-iron. That will come in handy later. I ventured to the 188 trading post and recruit Veronica as a companion to get me into the Brotherhood of Steel. I start working with the Brotherhood because I want their armor. I make my way to the gun runners to get a special flame sword and mini nuke launcher. I love this game. The mod I've been working toward is a flyable vertibird. This thing can fire off mini nukes and fly around the map. It's a bit buggy because it's an old game that's not meant to be flying around, but it's still cool. Anyway, I travel north and help out the Boomers, a reclusive group who idolizes explosives. These people speak my language. I do a few quests for them until I'm told to raise a bomber out of the lake. We'll see this later. With the Boomers on my side, I finish off the Brotherhood quest by exploring vaults for air conditioner parts, and finally get my sweet power armor. I then gamble a bit, and with the help of mods, it raises the gambling cap, making over 100 million caps. More than plenty of what I need. I go to Boulder City where the NCR has cons trapped in a hostage situation. I strike up a deal with the cons by killing the NCR surrounding the place, and killing the hostages. On my way out, I see Victor alive, being nothing but kind to me, and for no reason other than pettiness, I kill him a third time. Anyway, I go to Freeside to recruit Arcade as a companion, gamble, and meet up with Elvis impersonators. The impersonators are known as the Kings, and I do a couple of jobs for them. On the way back, I was coerced into an alley by some underleveled thugs who met the bad end of my flame sword. I also forgot I took the cannibal perk a while ago and decided to have a nice barbecue. Lastly, for the Kings, I killed the NCR in the area. Before entering the strip, I go into the Van Graffs, some energy weapon dealer, and do a job for them. All I do is stand watch and check who comes in. I let the wrong person in who had a bomb strapped to himself, and the place gets blown up. My boss is unhappy because now he's unemployed. I mean, he can't be mad at me, it was my first day. Now it's time to enter the strip. I confront Benny about killing me, take a break to gamble, and make a deal to hear him out. He sends me up to his suite, where he tricks me and sends his goons up to die at the hands of my blade. Benny escapes, but it's okay, because I then get a job offer from Kaiser himself. He caught Benny, and he lets me decide the fate as a trade for helping him out. No more information needed, I'm already sold. Kaiser wants me to destroy Mr. House's bunker underneath Kaiser's fort. It's here I meet Mr. House on a screen. He berates me for not meeting with him on the strip, but I tell him I'll visit him soon. I storm the bunker, kill the robots in my path, eventually destroying it. I then choose to crucify Benny, a great way of getting revenge. I fulfill my promise to House and storm his casino. At the front door, Victor confronts me, dropping his kind demeanor. We have our last fight to the death, where I am victorious. Get it? I make my way up the house where he's relieved to be an old man in a stasis pod that's kept him alive for over 200 years. And here I come with a 9-iron and beat him to a pulp, breaking on the last swing. I report back to Kaiser and he tasks me with recruiting the White Glove Society to the side of the Legion. This is easily my favorite casino. The White Gloves are secretly cannibals and have a problem. They kidnap the son of a wealthy man, and I solve this problem by killing the son and framing the dad. While bringing him to justice, he resists and gets gunned down. With the White Gloves on our side, I head over to the Brotherhood bunker and nuke them. Kaiser then tells me he has a brain tumor and asks me to cure it. I sell him my companion Arcade to act as a slave, and cures his tumor. Next on the agenda is to kill the NCR president. And since I'm labeled as a terrorist, I have to sneak in and sabotage the big cannon to explode while he's giving a speech. Now, it's time for the second battle of Hoover Dam. I meet with Legate Lanius, Kaiser's second in command, and this is another reason why siding with any other faction is difficult, because this guy packs. I storm the dam with a couple legionaries as we fight our way through the NCR defenses. The Boomers can be seen raining hell on the NCR. I continue to the other side of the dam where I kill more NCR rangers and eat them for fuel. Once inside the dam, I find my way through the NCR forces like it's nothing. I finally come face to face with General Oliver. But he knows we're inside and I can use my Fat Man, so he hightails it out of there. My first attempt at fighting him, I blew myself up. My second attempt, I kill him and his guards, and on my way down, I step on a mine and blow myself up. Third attempt, I blow up Oliver and fight his guards with knockoff armor, and prove that you can beat Fallout New Vegas as Jerry. Thanks for watching.
And so the courier who had cheated death in the cemetery outside Good Springs cheated death once again, and the Mojave Wasteland was forever changed. Caesar entered the Strip as though it was his triumph. The Legion pushed the NCR out of New Vegas entirely, driving them back to the Mojave outpost. The Legion occupied all major locations, enslaving much of the population and peacefully lording over the rest. Under the Legion's banner, civilization, unforgiving as it was, finally came to the Mojave Wasteland. The Legion marched over the Hoover Dam with the help of one who was as brutal and merciless as the worst of them, the courier. Caesar honored him with a golden coin, minted in celebration of his contributions and distributed throughout the wasteland.
Though some super mutants in Nightkin continued to journey to the legendary Utopia, they found little trace of its existence. Some eventually found their way to Jacobstown, but many wandered off into the wastes, confused and disheartened.
Cautious after the Boomers' display of power at Hoover Dam, Caesar chose to leave the Boomers alone. The Boomers remained isolated, but have been seen flying over the Mojave Desert from time to time.
Buried beneath tons of rubble, the Mojave chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel was no more. Those few who were outside the Hidden Valley bunker when it was destroyed settled into new lives, or headed west to find a new chapter to join.
The Fiends attacked Camp McCarran during the Second Battle of Hoover Dam and suffered heavy losses. Caesar, unimpressed with their performance and their dependence on chems, had them exterminated.
After the Legion's victory, Caesar, out of a strange respect for his old fellows, allowed the followers safe passage out of the wasteland. Reluctantly, the followers accepted the offer and abandoned Old Mormon Fort to the Legion.
Tricked by the courier and imprisoned by the Legion, Arcade remained Caesar's personal physician for several years. Caesar grew fond of speaking with such an educated man on philosophical matters. Arcade became his unwilling intellectual sparring partner. After years of such servitude, during an unguarded moment, Arcade used a surgical scalpel in his bare hands to disembowel himself. Lacking any other skilled medical personnel, the Legion was unable to prevent his death. Caesar mourned his loss for months.
The Legion, preoccupied with its acquisition of New Vegas, scarcely took notice of the town of Good Springs. Many locals moved on, fearful of Caesar's long shadow. Only the old and the stubborn remained.
As reward for their loyal service, Caesar forcibly integrated the great Khans into the Legion. The sick and elderly were killed. The women sold as wives to ranking officers, and the tribe's identity was annihilated. Though many great Khans mourned the death of their tribe, many more were ultimately satisfied with their revenge against NCR.
Impressed with the King's continued attacks upon NCR citizens and soldiers, the Legion offered them the option of being assimilated into the Legion. The Kings refused and briefly became slaves in the Legion, but after a failed escape attempt, they were all put to death.
Though Novak was a low-priority target for the Legion, many of Novak's citizens died in its defense. With no other communities coming to its defense, Novak would eventually fall to the Legion's persistent attacks.
After Hoover Dam, the leaderless powder gangers at the correctional facility vanished into the wastes, leaving the prison empty. The correctional facility became another abandoned ruin in the wasteland, its carcass occasionally picked over by enterprising prospectors.
Armed with a wide array of improvised explosives and stolen weapons, the Vault 19 powder gang tormented the Mojave Wasteland for years. Citizens of the NCR were favorite targets, and they always suffered the worst fates.
Not understanding the gravity of the Legion's imminent takeover of Prim, Sheriff Prim Slim valiantly attempts to resist Caesar's will.
After the death of Chief Hanlon, the power of NCR's Rangers was broken for years. Their organization, so reliant on the wisdom and guidance of its elder members, became a shadow of what it once was to people across the wasteland.
And so the Courier's Road came to an end, for now. In the new world of the Mojave Wasteland, fighting continued, blood was spilled, and many lived and died, just as they had in the old world. Because war never changes.